Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial on our channel. In this part we are trying to create a simple Nike sales analysis dashboard where we are trying to analyze operating profit, total number of units sold, average operating margin by different dates, by different sales method, by operating profit and units sold by city and sales method, where you can see different city names and where outlet sales are more, where in-store sales are more. So you will learn how to create this type of chart where we can show stacked columns as well as a line total units sold by different retailers. We can see 1 million units are sold by this particular retailer, total units sold by region, where we can see 27.71% sales are made in the west region. On the basis of different outlets also or sales method, you can select this. So how to create this interactive filter where we can select a region and try to analyze the data. We can select multiple regions. So let's get started with this simple tutorial. So the data set that we are going to use in this project is the Nike sales dashboard data set, which we have got from Kaggle. In the data set we have information of brand name, and only one brand is there, Nike. We have retailers ID here, so you can see we have four different retailers. The invoice date, so you can see invoice date here. Region in which sales were made, Midwest, Northeast, South, Southeast and West are the regions. State name, so all states are here. Then name of city, how many units were sold, what was the operating profit, what was operating margin, what was sales method, whether it was in a store, online or outlet. So on the basis of sales method also we can determine in which sales method we have more sales. Then this is product name and product ID. So based on the data set we will try to create a very simple dashboard here. So to create the dashboard, we can simply click on the text box and create a text box with our heading. So the heading that we are adding here is Nike sales dashboard. We can align this heading to left hand side or right hand side, and from here we can select a different color for our font. In effects you can select a visual border, and you can also select a visual border like this. You can give rounded corners of 12 pixel, and you can also enable shadow. So this is Nike sales dashboard. Optionally you can click on insert tab. From here you can add an image, so that famous tick sign logo of Nike, that is something that you can add here. So click on image and bring that image onto the dashboard, and we can position the image like this. If you want you can enable or you can resize the image as per your liking. So this way our header will be prepared, and we will use rest of the area for slices, rest of the area for different type of visuals. Now in data set like this we have many categorical fields like brand, city, we have product name, region, etc. And we have numerical values like number of units sold, operating margin, operating profit, etc. Now we have the card here. This card can be used as a simple KPI field. So here we can bring that. Let's say we have to use three different KPIs. First of all, let's say what is the overall operating margin or operating profit. So we will add it here. It will show us sum of profit margin. That is okay. So we will simply write operating profit here, or total operating profit. Here category label we will disable. Call out value, let's choose 25 as the call out value. Maybe too small, we can bring 30 here. Here we will use the blue color, and we will give a title. So this title is operating profit or profit. So we will write operating profit, and for this title also we will select a particular color, make it bold and align it to center and increase its font size. And here also we will go to effects. In effects we will enable visual border, same color, visual border 12 pixel and some shadow. So this way we have the operating profit here. We can go to view. In view we can select a dark background for our visual. So we can go to customize current theme, page background, and you can choose any page background. Let's say you want to choose this color, or maybe some shade of light blue, let's say we want to select. So we can select that particular color here, and we can give the transparency of 0%, apply. So now we have that dashboard. Here also you can see that here we have a transparent background. So in effect background is on, but we will select a particular color for it. Transparency is 85%, which we will reduce to 8%. So this way we will have more highlighted heading here. So some kind of contrasting color with the background. Now we will make a copy of it. We will put the three copies together here for KPIs. One is operating profit, another is total number of units sold. So instead of sum of units sold, you can simply write units sold as a title here. So this will show us units sold. And we can also find out what is the average operating margin. So for that we will simply select that, and we will select average operating margin will be 0.25. So we will just write AVG operating margin, or what, if you want to write the full name you can write it here. Now just below these KPIs we can put a line chart over here, and we can use height and width like this. First of all we can go to home tab, copy the styling, and in the line chart we will put invoice date on the x-axis, and on the y-axis we will see total number of units sold. Now this, because in this data we have information of 2 years. Again, the data set that we have got may or may not have the exact information. Maybe it is a synthetic data used for analysis purpose, but in an actual data set also you will get similar kind of data, and whatever you will do to create a dashboard will also be the same as we are doing here. Now when you will put the date column here, a date column is always read as a hierarchy in Power BI. You get different date parts like year, quarter, month, day. So you can use this drill drop down feature here. For example, go to next level in hierarchy. So you can see from year what is next, quarter, then month. So go to next level, month, go to next level, day. So this way you can go down in the hierarchy. If you click drill, then you have this option expand all down one level in the hierarchy. So now what is this? This is showing 2020 quarter 1, quarter 2. So this is more like a continuous value, and this is showing units sold by year, quarter and month. What I am just going to do, I will keep it like this, and I will just rename it to number of, because sum of units sold is basically number of units sold. Basically when you will go further down you will see it like that. So this way you can just create a graph like this. So this is number of units sold by quarter and month, and don't forget to save your work. Now we have different cities and we would like to see top 5 or top 10 cities by operating profit. So one thing that we can do, we can create a simple clustered column chart here. The clustered column chart, on x-axis we will put the city name, and on y-axis we will put the number of, this is the operating profit. And now you can see city wise Charleston is the city with highest operating profit. Now since we have selected the clustered column chart, we can also select line and clustered column chart. This will not change our graph too much, but it will give us a line y-axis. In this line y-axis, let's say we want to see the units sold. So we can see units sold. So this way you will be able to see total units sold and operating profit by city name. We will copy the styling by simple format painter, and this is sum of operating profit and sum of units sold by city. Instead of sum of, we can rename it as total operating profit, or just operating profit will be sufficient to understand. And rename here, instead of sum we will write number of units sold by city. Now there is one more thing, we also have a column legend. So for example, we have different type of categorical fields here. For example, we have categorical fields like retailer ID. As you can see, we have 4 different retailers. We also have sales method, whether it's outlet, in store, etc. So for that, what we can do, since it's a line and clustered chart, if you will bring the sales method here, so as a cluster it will create these bars. Like for example, in Charleston we know that there is highest amount of sales, but the sales is online, and if you see in a store it is lower. So that's why we can also switch it back to line and clustered, and this way uh, line and stacked. So in this way you will see how much is in a store, how much is online. For example, here this is outlet. In cities like Birmingham, Los Angeles, or Dallas, most of the sales are outlet sales. In cities like Miami, or in cities like Burlington or Wilmington, so in these cities you can see in-store sales are more. So this way you will be able to find out. So this is operating profit, units sold, and sales method. Okay. So instead of number of units sold, because I just want to show the title in one line, so I will simply write number of units sold. So this way you can find out. Next is, we also have donut chart or pie chart for different type of categorical fields. For example, if you want to see sales by retailer, so what we can do, we can bring a simple donut chart here, and here we will simply use this much height, and we will use half width here, and we will try to see sales by retailer ID. We have 4 retailers, so we'll use the retailer ID as legend here, and in value we can bring either unit sold or operating margin or profit, whatever we are considering here. So since we want to see how many units are sold by each retailer, so you can see sum of units sold by retailer ID. So here we can simply rename it as total units sold by retailer ID, or number of units sold by retailer ID. Here also, first of all, we will copy the entire formatting, and you can see a big size here. So because in data label size will be around 35 or 30, which in these type of charts we have to use it as 11. Next is, we have legend here. Legend position is given here. So what we can do, we can decide that legend position should be bottom center. Now we will be able to see. Okay, maybe we have clicked something, so that's why. As we have created this chart for different retailers, we can create a simple copy here, and in this copy we can use a simple pie chart just to add variety. And here, because in the chart it would be important to see region wise performance, so this will be total units sold by region. We can see around 27% units are sold in west region, then northeast, then south, then southeast, and this number of units are sold in midwest. So you can also find out uh, profit of these different regions. So anytime you can create, let's say, we can remove region and we can also bring operating profit. So sorry, we have to keep region as a legend. Here we can bring the operating profit. So this is sum of operating profit. So anything that you prefer, you can do it here. Now we can also add a simple slicer over here. That slicer will be used as a filter. So the filter that is important for us is date filter. So that's why we are putting the invoice date here. And in invoice date, you will go to slicer setting and it is between. You can also do before, you can also do after, you can also do relative date, for example, last 10 weeks. So it will show you that. So this quarter or something like that. So this is your setting, whatever you want to do. So we will just do between here. In between, you can see, we can see a slider also here. So I am just changing filter here, filter position on right hand side, so that we can show different filters here. I will simply copy the formatting and apply it here. So this is invoice date wise, we can see the performance of sales here. Now whatever categorical fields we have used here, for example retailer or region, we can use them as filter as well. So if we use a slicer over here, and in the slicer, I just want to utilize this area. So as a slicer, if we put region here, so it will, by default it will show the list here. And in slicer setting, if I go with tile, so now you can see we have different regions here. Here we have values. In values we have the font color, border, and background color. So as a background color we can use this. As a font color we can select a light color, or further lighter. We can make the color bold, as font size bold as well. So this way one can select the region. And since we have used this round shape for every visual here, we will use the format painter here and apply here. So after applying it here, we will just go to slicer setting and choose tile. Maybe it will ask us to change everything. So I will just quickly change it back to what I have. So this way we have utilized this top area or a slicer. We can just give some top margin. Now obviously we have put the method name here. So to find out sales by method, you can refer to this chart. But you would also like to see, number of units sold by different methods. So we can bring those methods as legend here as well. If you don't want to create a separate chart for that, just want to show this thing. So this is sales method. If you will bring that as legend, then you will be able to see these three lines, and you can see on for different dates. What is the performance of in-store method? What is the performance of online and outlet? We can also use a stacked and area chart here to see them in a more arranged in proper way, and we'll be able to understand it as well. So this is number of units sold by year, quarter, month, and sales method. We will use this area for a field map. In a field map, you can use something that has a bigger area, for example, a state. Luckily, in this case, a state is given. So we will add that state in location field. Then in tooltips, let's say we want to see units sold. So we will bring the tooltips here. When you will hover to different states, for example, let's see here. In Alaska, what is the sum of units sold? In Montana, what is the unit sold, sum of units sold? Let's fix it to equal with. So here what you can do, you can go to fill colors, FX, and here you will use gradient. You will not use count of the state, you will use your main unit, that is sum of units sold. It is showing that lowest value will be shown with a light color. So let's use lowest value with red color, highest value with blue color, and all the values that will fall in between will be using this color, or you can give that color as well. So this way you can create a simple gradient, and now you have your chart. So we have different state information here, and this is showing the data. Here we have different kind of filters, like state is all. Okay, we have these different state names, and what we can do, we can simply copy the formatting here, and maybe then we have to use it again. So maybe this is just like a revision. So unit sold, sum, red color, blue color. Okay, and we can assign it to this. So you can see in states like Texas or California or New York, sales are more, and all others are falling in red color like Iowa, Nebraska, etc. And we have this area which we can use for different other filters, like we have given the region filter, we have given date as filter, we also have information of city. So we would also like to see top 10 cities by sales amount. Okay, so let's say we can create a simple clustered chart. Obviously you can use this area for more filters. I am just using it as a city here, and after city on x-axis we will bring units sold. So you can see city wise New York, Charleston, etc. are there. So here we have put city like this. So here we have put city and sales method. If you want to show city, you can show it like this. So I just forgot, so I will just remove it. And now for example we can put sales method as a filter as well. So I will just copy this information, and instead of this I will put sales method. So it will show three different options. So I will use this here. Then let's create another copy of it, and here what we can use is, we can use probably city name. Let's say whether you want to show sales by different city, or select, a different selection of cities. Let's say we want to select these three or four different cities. So you can do that. For city and state, we will just use the drop down list. So this is city, and I will just copy it and utilize this state. This is space for state. So whatever categorical fields we have, we use most of them for our analysis, for interactive filters. Here for example, like we have the invoice date, we can go to slicer header and we can choose a different type of color, for example this color, make it bold, and we'll try to copy the formatting in all the filters. Even here I will just leave it like that because here we have different formatting. So here I will just give it manually. So we have the slicer header here, font color, this bold, and increase the font size. So now this is a simple sales dashboard which is showing us number of units sold by retailer ID, units sold by different region. On the basis of different filters like this, you can apply those filters and see the sales in different regions, different areas. So this is very important. So if you like the tutorial, please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please give them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.